Hey homeschool friends, and so in today's video I want to address one of the things I was most concerned with when I was looking into switching to the Sonlight curriculum. And that question for me was, how much reading is there, kind of on the daily, weekly level? And so in today's video, that is exactly what I'm going to share with you. Is I'm going to open up my Sonlight binder, I'm going to open up all the books, and I'm just going to share exactly how much reading there is in the Sonlight program. So hi, my name is Angie. Welcome to my channel if you are new here, or welcome back if you have been coming for a while. And so for those of you who don't know, I recently switched to Sonlight curriculum. I had been using literature-based curriculum prior to that, so my kids were already used to kind of being read aloud to. I already knew I loved that approach, and Sonlight had always been this curriculum that I was really drawn to. And so the inspiration for this video actually comes from another woman, which I'm not sure what her name is. I will actually link the video down below that kind of inspired this, where she went through, I believe it was the Sonlight Course C, like what a day in the life of Sonlight Course C is like, and she just went through all this stuff. And I just found that so useful, even though we're not at Course C. I guess I just really like the visual of it all laid out and being like, oh, I could totally do that. That's not too much. So that's kind of what I'm emulating in this video. And as you will see once I flip it around, I am going to share with you my Sonlight HBL or History Bible Literature K, as well as my Sonlight Science-A, and what we do on the daily basis for both of those programs. And so I'm going to flip you around, and I'm just going to take you through everything. And so let's do that now. Okay, so I flipped the camera around and moved you to the table so I could show you all the resources that I will be using in this particular week. So what I did is I just kind of picked a week in the middle of the curriculum, so it's not like too hard at the end or too easy at the beginning. And so I just picked randomly week 18. So from these programs, so the HBL, History Bible Literature K, which is Exploring American History, and the Sonlight Science-A, which is Light and Sound Waves, Biological Features, Space Science, and Engineering Design. And so these are the programs I'm going to be walking you through today. And like I said, I randomly picked week 18. To just go through a day, and I'm just going to go through the first day on each of these charts. One thing to note though is you could totally do that. You could just go vertically kind of down and do everything that it says for day 69 or day 86 in this case. And the only reason those are different is because I chose the 5-day science and the 4-day history, just because I love science. So if you've been following my channel for a while, that should make sense to you. That's why they're not the same, but I'm just going to pick that first column. So you could do that. You could just go down the column and do what it says. What I personally tend to do is I tend to block it a little bit. So instead of opening a science book and a history book in the same day, I will do 2 days worth of history in one day, and I won't do any science. And then the next day, I'll do 2 days worth of science. And I will write those ideas into my planner specifically. And you can see the Plan With Me video that I recently put out where I talk a little bit more about this. But that's how I do it. So I don't strictly do it vertically, but for this video, I wanted to just do one column of each to show you what a day in the life of Sonlight HBL-K and Sonlight Science-A is. So let's just get into it. So we'll start with HBL. And so it says here, and the first day is we are working through the 1-year Bible for children, which we have been working through and we really enjoy it. And so for this day, it's June 25th and June 26th. So you can see it's about that much reading. And then there's always the remember, which are just kind of straight questions like what happened, and then some more discover and apply questions. And you do that for each page. So that's the Bible for the day. And then it also has on here that you're memorizing Psalm 95, verse 1, which it has it listed here in your instructor guide. But there's also the CD that goes along with the program, which we actually use. I feel like a lot of the YouTubers I've watched their Sonlight videos, they say that they don't like the CD, but I have always just really liked it. And so we'll probably listen to the CD and then start to memorize that. So that's for the whole week though. So that first day you're just really introducing it to the kids. And then it comes to the history and geography section. And here I'll get out the book for that, but just to note, there's a lot of days where there's also geography, where I will pull out our big laminated map and we'll talk about where things are happening specifically, and that's always really fun for the kids. But on today's date, we don't have either that or the timeline figure, so we just have some reading. So I will show you that. So it's on day 18, which I actually marked this because a lot of these picture books don't have like day 18 at the bottom. You just have to count from a certain spot, which Sonlight tells you that in the instructor guide. So this is reading from 18 to 21. So you can see a lot of it's pictures. So you read this much on this page, this much on this page, and then on this page it's just a little bit of reading at the bottom. And that's it for history. And then you'll also see that a lot of times there will be some discussions for afterwards. You can see that it gives you some things to ask and talk about. Sometimes I use those, sometimes I don't. And see, that was just it for that first day from 18 to 21. That's all there was for discussing. So that's it for history. So then you go down into the read aloud section and you see Roxy and the Hooligans is what is being currently read at that point, which I'm really looking forward to reading this book. I think it'll be super cute. And it's just one chapter, The Rock Brigade. So let me find that for you. It's right here. I flipped right to it. So in this book, so this is one chapter, The Rock Brigade. So you'd read that, this page, So that's 5 pages, 7 pages, 8.5 pages of reading in the read aloud. So just one chapter. So it's very manageable. And then you can see as you go down further, there's a poem. And so I would get out our poetry book, which is The Llama Who Had No Pajamas, which is just really cute. And see, it's page 36. And so page 36 is just these 2 poems. So I would read this poem and this poem to the kids. And they like the poetry, and it's very fast. It's like a minute to read the poetry. And so that is it for a day of the HBL in level K, which is geared, I think, towards 5 to 6-year-olds. So there you can get an idea of how much reading there is. And then I'll take you into science. So for science, it's typically set up that you're reading one book. And since I got the 5-day, we also have extra books often on that 5th day. So for here, we're going to be starting this book, What Makes You Ill, which is an Usborne book. And we're reading page 2 and 3. So just it looks like the first spread. And so that is what is on page 2 and 3. Kind of classic Usborne style. There's a couple questions, there's pictures. So not too much reading. And when it comes to the science, a lot of days there's activity sheet questions. And so let me grab those really quick. And so then here's what the activity questions are for this week. And it says under day 86, you're doing questions 1 through 3. And so it's not too bad. So there's 3 questions. What is a symptom? Give an example of a symptom. And is pain a good thing? And you can see in this case, it's all to write it out. Other times it's a multiple choice question or circle the question. I tend to scribe everything they write, so I don't have my 5 and 6-year-old write this. But we just talk about it and I write it out for them. And then I can see here it talks about something that's a do together. It's in grade out, so you don't have to do it. It's not like a requirement, but I often like to do those because it's good topics. And on day 86, it talks about healthy habits. And this is where you just want to talk to your kids about staying healthy, about eating well. We can talk about our diet. What kinds of things do we eat that are healthy? What are some things we could switch out? Do we get enough exercise? Do we get enough downtime or rest? It says in our current culture, things are go, go, go. So it just is a good talking point for you to kind of take this a little bit further when it's like, okay, we're going to talk about what makes us sick, but what makes us healthy, sort of idea. So that's just a great little talking point. A lot of times those are like extra activities where you could get in the kitchen and talk about safety or make some sort of craft. But in that case, it was just to talk about healthy habits. So that is it for day 86. You can see once a week is when we have our experiment, but that wasn't on that first day. So we're done with the reading. So between those 2 things, that is really all we're doing for Sonlight History, Bible, Literature, as well as Sonlight Science. So I didn't time how long that took me, but I feel like for us, I would say all of this, read alouds, history, science, whatever we have to do for the day, it probably takes us somewhere around 20 minutes to do all of the Sonlight stuff. But that doesn't count any of the Sonlight language arts or anything like that, just these like knowledge-based subjects. So anyway, that is a peek inside a day in the life of HBL-K and Sonlight Science-A. So now I'm going to flip you around and finish out the video. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. I hope taking a walk through kind of a day in the life of Sonlight, HBL-K, and Science-A was useful, even if you're not using those exact programs, maybe that can give you kind of an idea of, one, how Sonlight is set up, kind of what are the categories of things that you need to read every day and things like that. And especially if you're looking into the kindergarten program, I hope this was really useful to see what that looks like. And if you are looking into the program, let me know down below. Or if you have used Sonlight-K, or if you have used one of the programs for the younger years, let me know down below. Let me know what you've used. Do you feel similarly to me? Things like that. I would just love to hear from you. But otherwise, that's what I have for this video. We are just loving Sonlight, loving it, loving it, loving it. So anyway, have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next homeschooling video. All right, take care.